Hi everybody, this is Ospreyeye from MyChartCoach.com, and in this video we're going to take a look at some of the stocks that were in play today. Okay, first up here, let's take a look here at LINU. Okay, this stock had really nice follow through today. Yesterday it formed bearish or bullish engulfing reversal pattern. This is a chart that we posted yesterday, and so here's the pattern. You can see that here. So there was this nice strong bullish reversal pattern. You can read about this later, and today there was confirmation. So the pattern was confirmed with a close above the 200, 150 day simple moving averages. So the close above 189 was very bullish. That was a big resistance level to break. And so tomorrow what bulls are looking for is a close above this 300 day simple moving average at 241. That's the big level to break. If it can get above that, then we'll be talking about the high close here on the 26th of June. That'll be the next big resistance level at 340. So yeah, so there's big implications, big upside potential if it can turn the 300-day simple moving average into support. If it pulls back, you'd like to see this cluster of moving averages hold here between the 180 and 190. You've got the 200, the 100, and the 50-day simple moving averages. Those are key to turn into support. LINU has been turning the middle Bollinger Band into support and starting a new uptrend. There's really big volume behind the move. The last 2 days, there was recent bullish crossover on MACD, and then if you look up here at RSI, it's 63 in the 50 to 70 bull zone with more room to run. Fasto is now hitting the 80 overbought power zone. If you take a look here at the 15-minute chart, okay, it looks like a cup and handle pattern is forming here with the 29th here. The high close at 10 o'clock. Okay, the share price pulled back. It bounced down here off of the 50 simple moving average. And so it bounced off the green line here, and then it came back up and it made a higher low. It held the middle Bollinger Band today, bounced off of that, and then it came back and retested that level, the closing price at 10 o'clock on the 29th. It broke that temporarily on the candle here at 315, but it pulled back below, and so that's going to be the key level to break tomorrow, that 225 level. Candles forming above that are going to signal more upside potential. If 225 turns into resistance, you could see the middle Bollinger Band and the 50 simple moving average tested here. If the share price drops below 195, that's going to be a signal to place cooling down and that it's looking likely to consolidate, and that's when you could see a pullback down here to these test the moving averages, possibly a drop down to 163. So to the upside, bulls, you want to see that 225 resistance level to break, and that will signal a move higher. And just the big key is to get above that 300 day simple moving average at 241. Okay, so take a look at ABIL. This stock closed up 22% today. We've got Fasto or RSI at 56 and in the 50 to 70 bull zone. Down here, Fasto is at 48 with the bullish crossover. So bulls want to see that get back above 50. So it made a strong move intraday, and then it pulled back all the way back down. It did close above the 50 and 100-day simple moving averages. I guess right at the 50-day simple moving average. It closed at 92. That's the green and gold line. Notice how they've converged here. ABIL is in the process of turning that level into support, and so going forward, candles forming above that level are going to signal upside potential. And then you want to see this dollar level in the closing price from last Friday break, a close above that, and then it could possibly run up here to test this high close resistance zone between 140 and 145. So if this 92 level fails to break tomorrow, if it can't stay above that level, then you could see this gap below fill. There's a gap between high of day on Tuesday and low of day today, and so a drop down to EMA 8 at 81. That would fill the gap. And as long as this middle Bollinger Band holds down here at 71, the uptrend is intact. It just has to turn that 50 and 100-day simple moving average into support to head higher. The long upper wick on today's candle, that does show profit taking, and possibly some dilution. There was a big volume spike, but yeah, bulls, you want to see a strong close tomorrow and above resistance. Okay, so OHGI made a nice move today. It closed up 64%. Fasto is up here at 80, above the 70 overbought zone, and then now you've got RSI up here above 70 as well. So both indicators are at overbought levels. There was a bullish crossover on ADX. This had been on a multi-day run. As you can see, there's a lot of green volume bars in a row, but really it was on a super light volume. And then today there was a break above the middle Bollinger Band and the 50-day simple moving average, which is this green line. Notice how this level had been tested multiple times and failed to break. You can go back, and there's been a whole bunch of times since support broke back here in May that the 50-day simple moving average was tested and failed to break. Today, the close above is a very bullish change in trend. Okay, so that's the key level to hold. It's all the way down there at 77. Bulls, you want to see candles stay above that level. Now the share price is above $1, and so when a share price is below $1 and then it gets back above, you want to see that level hold. The 100-day simple moving average here at 107 is the big support level on the pullback. If the candles do work their way back into the bands, you'd like to see that hold. As long as the 50-day simple moving average and the middle Bollinger Band are holding down here, the uptrend's still intact. But now that the share price is above the 100-day simple moving average, you would like to see it stay above that level. To the upside, okay, so the big level to break is going to be the 200-day simple moving average here at 144. Okay, that's the next big key resistance level. If it can get above that level, then that's going to signal more upside potential, and you could possibly see a run up here to the 300-day simple moving average at 225. So yeah, there's a huge volume spike behind the move today. If you look at the previous big volume spikes, you know, the share price did not move that much higher. So we'll see if it can follow through with multiple days of good volume. Okay, now let's take a look here at OTIC. Okay, OTIC was down really big today. If you can see here, it's down, closed down 81%. So that was a huge drop on some disappointing some disappointing news for their trial that they had on their ear medication, and so it didn't work out well, and so yeah, the share price suffered big time. This is the monthly chart here. And what this is showing you is the entire history of the trading for OTIC. You can see here it started back in August of 2014, and then today down here it made an all-time low. So it's bouncing off. There's a very small wick today off of low day, so it hit the all-time lowest price ever on a giant volume spike. When a stock is down 50% or more, it makes a good candidate for a bounce play. You can see that RSI is way down here at 16 and at extreme oversold levels, along with Fasto at 0.71. Okay, that's extreme oversold. So this is due for a technical bounce. The first resistance level is all the way up here at this lower Bollinger Band at 1088. That's what we're looking for now, are the candles to work their way back into the bands. And so keep in mind the lower Bollinger Band is coming down fast. Sometimes stocks will trend sideways, working their way back into the bands as the lower Bollinger Band's coming down, and sometimes you'll get a nice dead cat bounce, and so that's what we're keeping our eye out for here. Many times when a stock bounces and from trading below the lower Bollinger Band, as they work their way back into the bands, the EMA 4 becomes the top of the bounce. So keep that in mind. If it does break above the lower Bollinger Band, the EMA EMA4 is usually the profit taken zone. That is the level that it usually finds resistance, because stocks in a strong downtrend ride EMA4 resistance lower. If you look here at the OTIC 15-minute chart, you can see the low of day was the close down here, the closing price. It came down and it tested that level basically at 350. That is the big level to hold. If it breaks below 350, that's going to signal more downside risk. What bulls want to see is they want to see a break above EMA4, currently at 361. That is the pink line. Notice how the candle's been riding below that level the entire time. Okay, there was a close just above it at 3 o'clock, but it's been failing to break that level. So tomorrow, if you see a break above both of those levels, and then this dotted purple line, which is the middle Bollinger Band at 376, that's going to be a signal the chart is heating up. And then what we want to see is a break above EMA 13, currently at 399, and then the high close here at 1045. All right, that's the big level to break. If you can get above that in EMA 13, then that's going to signal the bounce play is in progress. So yeah, so keep an eye on this. We're looking for a bounce, for a technical dead cat bounce on OTIC. And then yeah, take a look at MNKD. This followed through nicely today. Closed up 14%. It's at overbought levels on RSI, currently at 79. Fasto has been in the overbought power zone. This really charged hard off of this 110 support zone, and it's just been heading higher ever since. Today, it did hit the 200-day simple moving average at 201. That is going to be the big resistance level to break. Notice how that was a support zone from back here in March, and so now that's turning into resistance, this 180 to $2 support zone. So if it can close above the 200-day simple moving average, that's going to signal more upside potential, and we'll be looking at potential run up here to the 300-day simple moving average and the support zone from back here in February. And if it fails to break the 200-day simple moving average, that could signal that it's going to consolidate. On a pullback, you really want to see EMA4 support hold. If you notice here, the candles have been closing above EMA4, that pink line, the entire time on this run. If there's a close below, that'll be a signal that the chart is cooling down and possible consolidation. As long as this middle Bollinger Band and 50-day simple moving average at 135 hold, the uptrend is intact. Notice there was a big volume today behind the move. Largest volume day since back in June. Okay, so yeah, take a look here at GBTC, Bitcoin Investment Trust, closed up 11% today. You know, 100,000 shares traded. It's a thinly traded stock, but for OTC, it has big money flow. You know, you've got RSI and Fasto here, overbought levels. Fasto is really frothy at 98. This has just been pushing so hard, along with Bitcoin hitting all-time highs. The GBTC has been following with a giant push today. Closed up at 927. Okay, this was trading at like a 125 earlier this year. So this has been on an explosive move, big run. You know, it's breaking out higher. Once again, notice how the candles have been riding EMA4 support. Once the middle Bollinger Band broke, okay, so the middle Bollinger Band support level broke back here in June, and that signaled downside risk, and then it consolidated sideways. And then once it got above that level back here in July, that signaled the start of a new uptrend. And as you can see, the EMA4, that pink line's been holding the entire time. You know, there was a close below, but it stayed back above. And so as long as EMA4 support is holding for you swing traders out there, the signal is to keep riding. There's no reason to sell if you're a swing trader other than locking in profits if EMA4 support is holding. That's signaling more upside potential. If there's a close below that level, that's the signal that the chart's cooling down, and then you're looking at EMA8 at 790. Once that breaks, if there's a break below, that's when you could see consolidation back to that middle Bollinger Band. As long as the middle Bollinger Band is holding, there's still more upside potential. But for these, for a swing trade like this that's riding EMA4 support, you know, you just keep riding as long as that level's holding. You can follow the intraday charts, and once that 15-minute chart breaks down, you know, that's the signal to lock in gains. So yeah, really nice run here. Great play for the for a thinly traded stock. This has been you know, a great move by GBTC. Okay, let's look at INFI. I'm going to leave you here in this video with something to keep your eye on. This is closed up 4%. As you can see here, it's coming up off of oversold levels on RSI, now at 31, still oversold on FASTO. You've got a bull cross here on ADX starting, and then what happened here is this has completed the cycle. Okay, notice that back here in November of 2016, it made a low. It came down here, made a low, and then it proceeded to run all the way up to 380, almost $4, where it peaked out in March, and then it came all the way back down. Now you have to use a little bit of imagination. This right side of the chart isn't exactly like the left side, but you can see this is what we call echo theory. This is the right side is like a mirror image of the left side. It's completed a cycle. It's not exact, but you can see how this followed the trajectory down the same way that this left side made its way up to the top. So now it's worked its way all the way back to the bottom, to the starting point back in November of 2016. So this cycle has completed. This cycle is done, and now it's finding support, and we're looking for a bounce. Okay, it needs to hold this 92, 93 support zone. Okay, that's the bottom right now of the bottom support. If that breaks, then it could possibly drop down to this lower wick on the November low, and that's the downside risk. To the upside, it did close above EMA 4. It is hard to see on this chart, but that's what we've been looking for. There was a close above 96. As long as the candles are staying above EMA 4, INFI is in play. It broke above the middle Bollinger Band temporarily. That's at 109. We want to see a close above that level to signal a possible start of a new uptrend, and then that could put a potential run back up to that 50 simple moving average. If you look back here, there was a similar kind of bounce. If you take a look down at the MFI, money flow index, and CCI and CMF, you'll see that when it's got to these extreme low levels in the past, that was the signal of the bottom. That's what happened back in November. So it hit extreme levels, and then it proceeded to make a big run, and that's happened again here. So we'll see if that pattern continues. Okay, yeah, thank you very much for checking out this video. If you'd like to learn more about charts and technical analysis, check us out at mychartcoach.com and our YouTube channel at mychartcoach.com. And the thing that caught our eye here with INFI was the volume. Notice the giant volume spike today. There is a super long upper wick, and it formed a long-legged inverted doji, which is shows profit taking and possible dilution. You could see that with accumulation distribution down here dropping, and the big spike down on CMF. That could be the company selling shares, or it could be people loading for potential move higher. Many times volume does precede price. Okay, thank you very much.